Hi, hope you're doing well, and welcome to Desire.com's certification in corporate finance and investment banking. Thank you very much for signing up for this program. I'm sure you're a very busy person. You're probably a student in college, or you're probably working for a company, or maybe you run your own company, or maybe you're doing all of these three things. But nevertheless, I'm sure you're a very busy person, and the team at Desire and myself, we greatly appreciate the time and effort you're investing into this program. Thank you very much. I am Binny Matthews, and I will be the lead faculty for the rest of this program here. Very briefly about my background, I used to be an investment banker with Credit Suisse in New York. I used to specifically work with Credit Suisse's technology and media and telecom clients, and used to provide them strategic advice and used to execute various financing transactions for them. After Credit Suisse, I worked with Quinn Street. Quinn Street is one of the world's leaders in online education, and I used to head part of their sales and business development efforts. Currently, I am a full-time faculty at Desire.com. Once again, thank you and welcome to this program. So now, just the very fact that you've taken time to sign up for this course really means that you're very interested in your career path or your career trajectory, right? Maybe you want a promotion at work. Maybe you work for a financial services company or some other company, and having a basic financial skill maybe may get you a promotion. Maybe your current office looks something like this, one cubicle among 100 other cubicle, and maybe you want to migrate away from that into get a promotion where you have a corner office and nice sofas and wood desks and all of that. Or maybe you just want to move into the financial services industry. Somebody has told you can make a lot of money in financial services, so that is probably your goal. You probably drive a Nano like this right now, and you probably want a lot of money to buy a BMW, a fancy BMW car like that. Or maybe you probably read this statistic, a recent statistic, I forget where, I think I read it in the Hindu newspaper or the Economic Times, which basically said on matrimonial sites, yes, Indian matrimonial sites like Shadi.com and BharatMatrimony.com, the bride's parents have a huge preference for grooms who have backgrounds in finance. For whatever reason, girls' parents really want their daughters to get married to guys who have backgrounds in finance. So maybe you thought, I've already spent a few thousand rupees for registering in one of these websites, so why not spend some more money and actually kind of bolster up my credentials on that website. So maybe you're here so that you can get a certification to finally get somebody like this. So no matter what your reasons are, you're here in the right place. We appreciate your effort, and we are very happy to help you in any way you can. We can, yeah. So it's very important for us to understand why we are doing this, other than all these reasons we just walked through. Why are we learning corporate finance? And there's no better way to understand why we are learning corporate finance rather than illustrating that through an example of a life cycle of a company. The word life cycle probably sounds fairly complicated. It's very straightforward. What we are trying to understand here is, what does a company, a corporation, it could be any company, a small company, a big company, a medium-sized company, it could have 2 employees, 2 lakh employees. What does a company go through in its entire life cycle from day 1 onwards? We will outline that first, and then we'll understand where corporate finance fits in. In the life cycle of a company, just very initially, obviously we can't cover the entire life cycle of a company, that's very exhaustive. We're just going to take a small snapshot of it. Let's say the company started in a specific year, so the promoters invest money. So you're starting a company, you invest some money into the company, you run the company for a few months, maybe and then you start selling your products or your services. You have revenue coming in, you have expenses, you're making profit and loss, and then you're running the company for another year and a half. Business is good, you want to open up a second center, or you want to go into a new state, or you want to go into a new country, so you're expanding your business. And then you're expanding your business, you're making profits. Now you want to really make your business very, very big. Maybe you're making like, I don't know, 1 crore in revenue, and from there you want to take it to 100 crores. So you have to go and raise venture capital money from professional investors, and then maybe after some time you're doing really well, you want to the company to grow faster, you probably go acquire another company. By acquire, I mean you go and buy another company, and then you're making a lot of profits, and finally you want to list in a stock market, do an IPO of your company, and so on and so forth. You get the idea, right? This is the never-ending process. You can go ahead, you can raise debt after that, you can sell yourself to another company, you can do a bunch of things after that, but you get the idea. So the role of corporate finance is that at a very fundamental level, corporate finance is the language of business. Everything here, whenever anybody discusses the pros and cons of every step of this life cycle, corporate finance is the language of the discussion. Now, for example, to expand your business, there's probably like 10 different ways you can expand your business. Do I have to get into a new category, or do I have to get into a new state, or should I get into a new target demographic? There's so many different decisions you make while expanding your business, or maybe while you want to raise money from investors. There's so many different ways you can do it. Do I have to raise debt? Do I have to raise convertible debt? How much interest should I pay? How much of the company should I give to the investors? So you get the idea that while a company is evolving from day zero to whatever the end period is, there's so many decisions you have to make along while you're building up the company, and the fundamental to making those decisions in a very unbiased, objective, quantitative way is corporate finance. Corporate finance gives you those tools and techniques and the frameworks that you need to analyze each of these decisions along the way, and that's the role of corporate finance right here.